Good morning. My name is Kyra Anderson, and I'm a grade 12 student and a 3-year Harvard from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm excited to be here today hosting this special presentation in celebration of International Women's Day, a day in which we have the opportunity to celebrate the women of Notre Dame. Today we have the honor of welcoming Julia Flinton, hound from the class of 2011, back to campus. Julia is a 5-year hound who attended Notre Dame in grade 8 through to graduation. She currently lives in Williams Lake, BC, and works with a non-profit organization in BC called iSpark, Indigenous Sport, Physical Activity, and Recreational Council. She is their Food Systems Program Manager. In her position, she works with First Nations communities pursuing their food security goals through funding and technical support. She is also involved in 4-H within her community as she runs a First Nations 4-H club for Williams Lake First Nation, which is the only one of its kind in the country. She is involved in her family's cattle operation, which is located just outside of Williams Lake. It is a pleasure to have you here today, Julia. Please join me in welcoming Julia.
Okay, I'm a walker and talker, so I'm going to move. My name is Julia, graduated in 2011, which was 13 years ago now, which seems like forever. I'm a second generation hound. I also have 2 younger brothers that went here as well. My brother Cam went here for 4 years and graduated, and then my brother Nick came for 2. My uncle also came way back in the day. And yeah, we all got different things out of it, and it was just a great experience. So I have some photos. This is circa grade 8 for me, so 2008, red and white. This is my best friend Jen, so teachers out here, when I was here, they know that we weren't far from each other. Where there was one, there was the other. She's currently living in Quebec now. She also graduated from Notre Dame in 2011, NCAA scholarship. We played soccer. So that's from grade 9, I think. This is grade 12. I think it was after we won provincials, maybe, or the league for midget AAA girls. So yeah, I basically came to Notre Dame for hockey. I grew up in a small town. I played boys up until Pee Wee, second year Pee Wee, which was what it was called back then. I realized it's all weird numbers, and I don't know what the numbers are because I'm not really involved anymore, but there was no opportunity for female hockey in my town, so it was either play boys in Bantam or find a female program. The Bantam coach basically told my mom not going to take her because she was a girl, so my parents explored other options. Luckily, Notre Dame had grade 8 that year. It was the last year of grade 8 that they offered, so packed up my stuff when I was 13, which is just wild now because I can't imagine sending my 13-year-old daughter when she gets that old here at that age, but yeah, I came to Notre Dame and it changed my life. I was a multi-sport athlete, so this is, I think it was rodeo day in grade 12. My house leader, partner in crime, Morgan, I was a chopper for all those of you that are choppers, chopper for life. Funny enough, my brother Cam was a badger and my brother Nick was a gunner, so there's some sibling rivalry there still. When they found out I was coming out, it just automatically turned into house competitions. I gotta be careful though, they're both bigger than me now, so they can put me to the ground pretty quickly. This is throwback, grade 12, grade 9 or 10, I think. So I had 3 coaches for the majority of my Notre Dame career. One of them was Ramona Vigneron for soccer, which some of you might know because I know she subs here quite often. The other was Janice Rumpel, who some of you may know, really well-known hockey coach, and the other was Bolak, and all 3 of them had an amazing effect on my life, and I wouldn't trade having them as coaches for the world, so I threw that in there just for him. He said some really nice things to me when he heard I was coming out. He's never been that nice to me, so I felt good about myself there. There's rugby, that was grade 12, with my co-captain, Christine, who's now a therapist, and she's always a smart particle, that one. Yeah, so after Notre Dame, I got a scholarship to the University of Saskatchewan. I was convinced that I was going to leave this province after Notre Dame. I was tired of the winters, and then I ended up 2 hours north in Saskatoon. I played for the Huskies for 5 years. I took an agricultural business degree, and I went there for 5 years. Also a life-changing experience. Wouldn't have traded my time at USask for the world, both academically and athletically. It was just an amazing experience. That's my last year, second to last year maybe. So when I was at UMS, we won a Canada West Championship in 2014, and I guess now it's called U Sport, but we went to nationals that year, and we got bronze, so that was really cool. That was the only year we won, but the hockey caliber and everything was just amazing. If I could, one piece of advice for female hockey players in particular, and male hockey players if you're going to university, is to make sure that you pick a program at the school that you choose to go to hockey that you are passionate about, whether that's business, whether it's engineering, whether it's biology. Because when hockey's done, which it will be for all of us eventually, you need something to fall back on. So if I could offer one piece of advice for those of you that are going to go post-secondary, it's to try and pick a school that allows you to pick a program that you're passionate about. Otherwise, you tend to bounce around from program to program, might not enjoy it enough, which is the main reason why I picked U of S, is because it had a really strong agricultural program. 2015, I was selected to play the U Sport Team Canada. We went to Spain, Granada, Spain. We got silver, which I'm still a bit bitter about, just like the 2010 silver SO medal I have in a drawer that never comes out still. Amazing experience. I 100% would not have got there without Notre Dame, and specifically Janice. Janice was really hard on me when I was here, but I credit being able to wear those colors largely to her, because she just knew how to get the best out of me, I guess, even when I was being a dumb teenager sometimes. So onto my life now. Yeah, it's been a ride. I fought fire for 7 years when I went home in 2016. I graduated in 2016, and yeah, I went straight home. I was like, I'm done with the flatlines. I'm going home to the mountains. Miss my family. So I fought fire for 7 years, wildland firefighter for 7 years. And then I got pregnant and had my daughter. This is my daughter, Ailey. She turned 4 on Sunday, which is just crazy. She's very outgoing, and she's very much like me. And my dad says that it's a pleasure watching me parent myself, which is probably entertaining, I would imagine. Largely involved with the cattle operation on my dad's side, so we have about 30 head. And my uncle has 70, so calving starts on the 15th, so I'm headed straight back next week to help with that. And agriculture is my passion, specifically cattle. Like, kind of merged into that after hockey ended, and found my groove in that, and that's what I would do all day if I had the choice. But unfortunately, doesn't pay the bills sometimes, so you gotta have a backup plan, which is why I work for iSpark now. So I have a town job, they call it, and a ranching job. This is this summer, so my daughter is half First Nations, her dad is First Nations, and so in the summer along the Fraser River, which is where that is in BC, they dip net, so they have really long poles with nets on the end, and you stand on a rock or a ledge that they built in a back eddy, so the water flows back into where the rock is, and they pull salmon out with the nets. So that's what we were doing there. And then they have these big rock fish pits that are full of dead fish and slime and goodness. And so her job, because she's little and she can't go near the river, is to have the fish bunker, and she kills the fish ultimately, but she loves it. Comes back covered in fish guts. But it's a really cool way for her to just be out with us and not be a pain and not be in danger, and she gets to stay connected to her culture, which is really important. And this is her at the farm. It's the last picture I have, but yeah, she's my life. I'm a single mom, so her and I are 2 peas in a pod, not far from the other. Yeah, so a few points of what I got from Notre Dame. It's definitely not for everybody. You know, how many have you seen that have kind of come for a year or 2 years and then just decided it's not for them? There's quite a few, right? But if you can come for at least 2 years, I think, and stick it out and graduate, it's gonna be life-changing. This place made me who I am, 100%. I tell everybody that asks me about it. It's not for everybody, but it made me who I am. I got a really strong work ethic that not a lot of people have in my generation anyways, or what I feel right now anyways. Commitment, you learn how to see it out. In grade 9, I tried to quit rugby and Black would not let me, which was a good decision in the end. But that's the commitment that I'm talking about. You have teachers and coaches that care if you're not putting in the effort. It's generally not because you don't want to do it, it's just because you're being lazy, and they know that. So, academically responsible. Can't tell you how many friends I had that graduated in my hometown that could not make university work just because they had no idea what the workload would be. And I believe 100% here that you get a taste of what the workload is, specifically because you can't take spares. Is that still a thing? Can't take spares here? Yeah, you have to take 5 classes a semester, 5 classes a day. That's not necessarily the case if you go to public school in my town anyway. Lifelong friends, Jen is my very best friend. She will be the maid of honor whenever someone decides to marry me or I decide to marry someone else. She's consistently the person that I stay in contact with the most. But the best thing about everybody else that you've graduated with or made friends with is you reconnect and it's like no time has passed. They're always there for you, and with Instagram and Facebook we keep up quite a bit with each other with comments and likes and whatever it is now, but yeah, for sure the lifelong friends. Lots of job opportunities, university opportunities, just solely based on the name Athol Marie College of Notre Dame. People see that on your resume, and it's automatically a huge check mark that puts you ahead of the next candidate, I believe. Some of my best memories were here, and for me specifically in this point in my life, like newly single mom as of the summer, massive life-changing events have happened for me in the last year. And coming back here and getting invited here is kind of almost perfect timing, fate for me, I believe, because it's a feeling of home. And it's that feeling I never really acknowledged before, because when you're here, you're just like, I want to get out of here, like I'm tired of it. Been here for 5 years, 4 years, whatever. But for me in this moment right now, and I'm sure which all of you will feel at some point down the road, which I'm sure you're like, that's so far away, but trust me, it's not far away. It's coming. You come back and you kind of feel peace of it, and that you can kind of recenter yourself, which is definitely what I'm feeling today. And yeah, I'm just really honored that I got invited to be here. My brothers they're like, you're officially old because you got invited to go back to Notre Dame. It's like, well, thanks, guys. I haven't been back to campus in 12 years since my brother was second year, I think. So it's been a long time. Haven't been back to Sask in almost 10. So yeah, just thanks so much for having me, you guys, and just soak up every minute, because I know it feels like it's not going fast, but like everybody probably says to you that's gone here, it really goes by in a blink, and then all of a sudden you're a grown up, or you're trying to be a grown up, and you're just trying to remember to like feed your offspring and brush your teeth in the morning, and you're like, man, I really wish I could just go back to like having to make sure I get myself to varsity in the morning for breakfast, because those were the days. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and yeah.
Hello, my name is Ray Panetta, and I'm a grade 12 from Regina, Saskatchewan, in a 4-year town. My question is, during your time at Notre Dame, how did the women around you help empower you?
Yes, I got these questions ahead of time, which is probably a good idea, but I was thinking about this question a lot, and I think like for me, every single female that was either a teacher or a coach when I was here had some impact on my life in some way, like whether it was Alice Dumba in the English class, or whether it was Janice, or whoever it was, each and every one of them genuinely just cared about who you were as a person, and they wanted you to succeed. And I think that's something that's very unique about this place, because I don't think you always get that. I know you definitely don't get that in my hometown at the high school. So yeah, I think each and every one of them is a very special individual when they choose to come teach here specifically. And it's just love all the teachers and the coaches, and especially the female coaches and teachers that are here, and yeah, well, they're just the best. I can't even explain it. Like, they're just all so great, and they're still great to me, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Maya Kubrakovich. I'm a grade 12 student, a 2-year hound from Pine Creek First Nation in Manitoba. What piece of advice would you give your teenage self?
I was thinking about this one last night, and there's a lot. I think for me, like, it's an ebb and flow here. Like, there's some years that were tougher than others, and I think this still rings true for me now, is everything will be okay, and everything happens for a reason. And I think if you're having a hard time or a hard year, it's going to be okay. There's going to be the light at the end of the tunnel, even though it doesn't feel that way maybe at that particular time. And I think it just continues to be like that for the rest of your life. So that's what I would say, and maybe don't have fake cell phones in the dorm, because you get hours, fair warning.
Hello, my name is Lexi Brasowski. I'm a grade 12 student and a 2-year hound from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. My question is, can you tell us about one female that you look up to as an inspirational leader, and why?
This was the hardest question. Yeah, I don't know if I have one in particular. Yeah, it's hard, this one for me. There's a lot of women in my life specifically that I look up to. My mom specifically would be one of them. She did everything she could to get all 3 of us here for 12 consecutive years, which is crazy when you think about it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer, I don't think, for this one. It's hard for me. There's so many I could pick from. Sorry.
My name is Emery Rogers, and I'm a grade 10 student, and this is my first year at Notre Dame, and I'm from Golden Lake, Saskatchewan. And my question is, what is the most rewarding part of being a woman in agriculture?
I think just sticking it to the guys out there. Girls can do it too, you know? Yeah, I think it's definitely a male-dominated industry, obviously, and I think just being a voice for females in agriculture is important to me. You know, I've worked in male-dominated industries all my life. Typically, I was on a unit crew for firefighting, which is 19 men and myself. But I think the tides are starting to change too, so I think just the more voices, the better. And generally, the women have the bit of the brain behind the operation, so I know that sometimes they're undervalued, but the people that know how the ranching operation specifically works know that typically the wife is the bookkeeper and the kind of the money and everything. So yeah, just to be a voice and to just show those that might not be as knowledgeable in the industry that women can do it too, and it's not just the dads and the men doing it. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Virginia Karasny, and I'm a 4-year hound from Wilcox, Sask. I can tell by listening to Julia's presentation that she leads a busy life and is a leader in so many ways. I'm also aware that she will be heading to Calgary in the next few days, as she is the keynote speaker at the Advancing Women in Agriculture Conference. This sounds like a very exciting opportunity. Given that you are so busy, we want to thank you, Julia, for taking the time to join us today on International Women's Day and to share your knowledge about leadership and how we as Hounds can grow to be leaders. I want to encourage everyone to learn more about the She's a Hound campaign and how this initiative celebrates the women of Notre Dame through sharing stories and raising support for current and future female hounds. Thank you again, Julia. Please accept this gift from the entire Notre Dame family.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to end with a Notre Dame Prayer and Victory March led by Lisa Welder, but thank you all for being so attentive.
Dear Notre Dame, we hail the alma mater, thy loyal sons, thy banners proudly bear. We pledge to thee our love and our devotion. We beg thee hear and grant our prayer. O guide our steps and lead us safely onward through all the years with loving care. What though the odds be great or small, O Notre Dame will win over all, while her loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame, wake up the echoes cheering her name. Send up all we cheer on high, shake down the thunder from the sky. What though the odds be great or small, old Notre Dame will win over all, while her loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Na na na, cheer.